The USAID CATALYZE is an 8-year, $250 million contract implemented by Palladium. It started in 2019 with the goal to mobilize private capital for underserved sectors, geographies, and populations globally. As a part of these efforts, USAID CATALYZE Engines of Growth activity aims to mobilize $110 million in private sector capital to SMEs in the Western Balkans region. To achieve this goal, EOG works with the private sector to develop new alternative financial products. Learning is a fundamental component of the EOG activity, as USAID is keen to learn how EOG applies blended finance approaches to catalyze finance for SMEs effectively. As part of our learning activities, EOG is organizing workshops with partners and key stakeholders to examine the barriers and enablers to developing alternative financial products in the Western Balkans, with a particular focus on WSMEs. These issues are why we have gathered in Belgrade, Serbia, with key leaders in private equity and venture capital from the entire Western Balkans to discuss challenges and opportunities in the region's growing markets. Sessions came as opportunities for networking among CATALYZE partners, USAID representatives, and other private sector actors, but also as the gathering point for knowledge transfer on how to determine progress, answer learning questions, uncover best practices, and surface practical suggestions on how to better mobilize private capital for development. To ensure the learnings and dialogue goes beyond the event, EOG will produce a learning product that can be used by USAID and the private sector to further mobilize private capital for development in the local markets. The first workshop, Access to Finance, Perspectives from Private Equity and Venture Capital, included discussions on supply-side challenges and recent developments regionally and globally. What financial products and services relevant to high-growth potential SMEs are already on the markets? What are the obstacles in access to finance? Is it a matter of capability, opportunity, perception, or motivation? Our participants shared different experiences on questions such as, who are the potential investors and how do you attract them? What are the benefits of USAID CATALYZE Engines of Growth activities in the region, and why the regional approach remains crucial for these issues in the Western Balkans? In our second workshop, Access to Finance, Perspectives from Women SMEs in Belgrade, we shared the experience of the USAID CATALYZE EOG business advisory service providers in the region. Participants identified critical strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats for access to finance for local WSMEs. Key questions included, what are the key constraints preventing women from accessing finance? Why is there a low representation of women entrepreneurs in the SME sector? What specific constraints contribute to the low numbers, such as social norms, business environment constraints, lack of supporting infrastructure? In the workshop, we looked at which sectors have a higher proportion of women-owned, led, and managed enterprises, and what key factors make it easier for women to work in these sectors. We also discussed key incentives needed to change business as usual and increase access to finance for women in the Western Balkans. With many representatives participating in our sessions, we can see that markets and financial institutions are changing. Through discussions and workshops, we recognize their desire to participate in dialogue and contribute to the improvement of general business conditions in the region with their experience and good practices. The messages from Belgrade remain clear. Regardless of the existing obstacles, step by step, Western Balkans can become the new go-to region for investing and economic development.